Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the KnifeCenter. Welcome to KniFAQ, episode 265 of the series where I answer all your questions, sharp or dull. What we do is we try to answer your questions. They come from the comment section below. Leave your questions down there if you have one for a future episode. I try to answer them to the best of my ability, and Thomas behind the camera makes snarky comments.
No cold open today, huh?
If only they could see the bloopers. And now you're putting it in at the end of the edit, I'm sure. Shall we get into the first question now?
Can't stop you.
Defossian1 says, question, with America's 250th birthday coming up, what is the most patriotic knife, the one that we should all be carrying this 4th of July? To have given you a chance to be carrying these knives on the 4th of July, we should have done this question on a video that is posting before the 4th of July, instead of posting on the 4th of July, like this video is doing. But we can still answer the question. 250th anniversary, of course. And there's a bunch of American flag stuff you can find on the website. Kershaw especially is making a bunch of stuff right now on some of their very excellent models. But in order to not overload the table, we're going to focus at least on some things that specifically have some kind of 250th commemorativeness to them, including a couple of Kershaws that you could carry. The Leek, classic everyday carry knife, of course, USA made. This is the USA Eagle version with 250 years of freedom there, of course. $80, which is about the same price as the standard ones, I want to say. Let me confirm that. Yeah, standard colored aluminum scales are about $80 as well. So you get the fancier graphic and extra engraving for no upcharge, essentially. 3-inch blade, 14C28 and steel, of course, which is very fine-grained and tough, which is great for the thin needle-like tip that Ken Onion designed on this classic assisted opening design. That could be a very good option for all times of the year everyday carry. If you want something bigger, go with the Blur, another Ken Onion speed safe assisted design, coming in just under $100 right now. Lots of kind of regalia or imagery on the printed handles on these, front and back. It's the same image, same image I believe. 3.4-inch blade, Sandvik 14C28, and again, that hint of recurve gives you a little extra shearing power, of course, especially on the pull cuts. Extra edge. It's nice. Extra freedom, extra edge, or something.
Kilometers need not apply.
Kilometers are welcome. Come hang out. It's a good time over here, most of the time. We've also got, Remington has a few items as well, including this excellent slip joint right here. This is a 250th anniversary trapper, bone handles engraved and colored in. I'm not sure what the coloration is in it. Might be paint, might be dye, I'm not sure. But that's the material, before anything's done to it on the backside there. And we do have the Remington logo on the clip point blade. The Spey has a 250th anniversary laser engraving. And then, of course, American Spirit 1776 to 2026 right there on the front as well. And it's a classic slip joint. Quality's pretty decent. Case Knives also makes a number of items with American flag, that sort of thing on it, but I couldn't find any with like some 250th specific stuff, at least in my the search I was doing earlier today. If I'm missing any of those, comment section, point them out to me, of course, and I will apologize in advance to our friends at Case Knives. But I got a little something for you a little later. Just stick around. Remington also has the 250th anniversary American Spirit Bowie knife, 7.5-inch blades, about $150. It's America's knife, the Bowie knife, basically. So why not have some special engraving on this one? In terms of use case, I'd probably say this is more of like a commemorative display type of piece rather than a heavy-duty user. Handles are kind of blocky, fit and finish is acceptable, but not nothing to write home about, quite honestly. It's just the case in this case.
No, it's a Remington.
It's a Remington, not a case. Thank you. Good point. But certainly has the spirit. For some real heavy using American-made fixed blades, tops knives, baby, was there any doubt? We've got 3 models right here having standard models, but with a little extra engraving for the 250th right here. We've got the Steel Eagle 105C right here, of course, with the clip point blade. Just under $200 for this. High carbon steel, 1095, thick, 1/4 inch, big slabs of linen micarta. Where is that? Big slabs of micarta for the handles, and virtually indestructible for its size, of course. Not a terribly efficient slicer. That's not what it's built for. If that is your thing, check out the Armado 6.5 right here with a 6.5 inch blade. Big swooping drop point with a lot of belly here and a higher flat grind and thinner blade steel than the Steel Eagle as well. So a lot slicier in the slicing department. But you can still choke back and hack with it a little bit. It's still plenty durable, just not as sort of like, house dismantling durability of the Steel Eagle right there. All these come with Kydex sheaths, of course, and they are made in Idaho, if you were unaware. They actually all come with a little sticker as well, commemorative. It's kind of cool.
What's the edge retention on that sticker?
Not. Measures whatever paper measures on the hardness scale. And of course, the Lil Chete as well, which I think shows off the emblem the best of all of these. $232 for this 8.4 inch blade of 1095, thick, chunky, slicier than the Steel Eagle, smackier than either of the 2 knives, of course, here. And that is a technical term. You can look it up. Don't tell me what it says when you look it up.
Safe search on.
Safe search on, probably. I mean, come on, it's the Lil Chete. Despite being Lul, this spirit is not Lul. It could hit really hard. There's some more stuff coming. Like I said, if I missed the case knives, sorry about that. There's some buck knives you can pre-order on the website that aren't here yet at the time we're filming this. But again, same kind of thing that we're seeing here. And this is why I say, kilometer lovers are welcome. Last but not least, a knife from Extrema Ratio. This is a limited edition of their Praetorian. This is a Praetorian Gloria commemorating USA's 250th. But it's an Italian-made knife. It's not an American company. But that's okay. Like I said, kilometers are welcome. Within reason. Don't push your luck.
They bring pasta.
Hey, that'll work. Or should I say, A with the Italian. Anyway, why would an Italian company be doing a 250th commemorative piece for America, for USA? It says here, we hold these truths, an excerpt from the Declaration of Independence, and you've got engraving on the backside as well. And this is part of the kind of global community aspect of the knife world in particular, but of many, many communities that I really appreciate. Their own words sum it up best. So I'm just going to excerpt from, quote them from their description right here. 4 words from the Declaration of Independence sit where Latin used to be, which is what's usually engraved here. In 1776, 13 colonies signed the most dangerous document of their century. 250 years later, a house in Tuscany honors it the way Europe has always honored what deserves to last. That's pretty darn cool. Really cool. 50 pieces worldwide. That's it. This is right here is number 33 of 50. We have a few. When they are gone, they are gone. Pretty cool piece. Pretty cool, tribute, and pretty great words from our Italian friends right there. $800 for this. Comes with a sheath though. So.
Oh, bargain.
You got that sorted. Thanks for the question, man. Defaution. Next questions from Robert Howell. It's less a question, more of an accusation and instigation, but here we go. This is in response to the New Knives of the Week video last week, where we had some limited edition WE knives, 4 limited editions released at the same time, and he called out a bit of information I missed. Hard to imagine David did not know that the 4 knives released by WE were salutes to the United States military, Navy, Air Force, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. How could you not know that? Sorry. And if you did know it, why would you skip over it? I didn't know it, so yeah. KnifeCenter always seems to be right on the edge of being ashamed to love knives. Really? Or maybe it's just the way David presents big, scary knives. Very strange sales tactic. Sorry if my sales whatever.
Big,
you know,
scary knives.
big
right in
scary
front
knives.
of you.
I love the little chete. Like, what's, you know, I don't know. How did I not know, to the beginning part of the question, that these were, you know, military inspired or military tribute knives? Is I didn't read our own website descriptions that time. And let me tell you why. In my defense, KniFAQ does a lot of limited edition knives. A lot of their new releases are wind up being kind of one and done sort of things. And they're all very good, but they never really have a story. And I made an assumption, incorrect of me to do so, that this was the same case. So let me show you these 4 big 4-inch bladed knives, pocket knives that I do like. I'm not ashamed to like them. I'm going to redo the presentation, basically, of these 4 knives, including the pertinent information. What order do I have them in here on the table? First, we have the breech for the Marines, of course. $395.25 for this version of the knife. You've got M390 steel. This one is blackened and stonewashed. You got a really cool motif with stars and a bunch, or 1 star and a bunch of stripes here on the front. Frame lock, very rigid, very flippy, very satisfying action. And like anything KniFAQ does, it's, you know, pretty much flawless. I say pretty much, leaving open the possibility that there is a flaw, even though I cannot detect any in this case. Limited to 200 of each variant of these, and we've already sold out of some of our variants on all of these. Really cool knife. We have this model is the flight line for the Air Force. I continue to like this detail here the best on the knife, the way the inside of the handle angles out, or is carved out to give you that space for the lanyard hole right there. And it gives a bit of like an aerodynamic thing, which, you know, like tail,
Also wings.
I'm so ashamed to like this knife. Man, it's affecting my words. Yeah, like airflow type of thing. When I'm thinking of this in terms of it being an Air Force tribute, that's where my mind goes now when I see that particular. Speed holes help things go faster. We all know that, right? Inset liner lock on this instead of a frame lock, so you get the same motif on the back as on the front, rather than, you know, the big frame lock cutout that you got on the breech right there. Again, great flipping action, clip point blade, M390 steel on all of these basically. They're all 3.8-ish inches long. We have the hull, the Navy tribute right here. And there was a kind of a maritime camo version of this that I showed in the previous video. That has sold out at this point, however. At least, I don't know if we're able to get any more or not, but on the day we're filming this, we don't have one. Again, I think it's the same price on, no, sorry, prices fluctuate a little bit. We're $335 on the flight line. We're about $380 on the hull right here. And it just definitely has some hull-like attributes there. It's aptly named in this case. Again, multiple variants are available. Inset liner lock in this case, the flipper tab, the drop point blade in this case. I don't know, does anyone see any like specific boating or whatever nods in the design? It feels like it is. Maybe this is kind of propeller-like, but I'm not as like maritime inclined as in my knowledge base. So I leave it up to you folks as well. And then we have the Reveille, which is the Army tribute right here in one of the camo patterns here, the Desert Terrain camo. $357 for this one. Again, M390 blade. You've got a large thumb hole and a very large kind of thumb plate. And did I, in the video, I can't remember whether I said this or not, but this does kind of make me think of like a Picatinny rail from like a firearm a little bit.
Yes, you did.
Did I say? Okay, good. At least I'm consistent in my shame of liking big knives. I'm getting a little too salty. I apologize. That's fine. It's pretty cool. And again, cool of we to do a set of knives like that for the U.S. military. Not specifically for the 250th anniversary, but it seemed like it fit in the episode to talk about it, so I did. And now I have done. Now we come to the lightning round for today, which first question or first comment from As Kickerks1, probably. Congrats on 500,000 subscribers. Awesome, guys.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
We did do that, and failed to make any sort of mention of it. So thank you, everyone who is subscribed to the channel, for getting us to the milestone. It's a milestone episode theme today, so
and you are out there.
Please subscribe.
What's taking you so long?
Don't get salty. It's fine.
I'm reading the room.
Yeah, I am a little too salty today. That's fine. Thank you, everyone who has subscribed. This series in particular has played a big part of the growth of the channel over the years, so thank you. And now for the next thing. Nathaniel Rios says, hi, DCA. I'm looking for an old school hunting knife with traditional materials. Any help would be very appreciated. Thank you. I told you I'd have a case knife here. The Case Hunter. This is old school hunting knife all the way. Very similar in vibe to like old school marbles knives from like the turn, the early 1900s, late 1800s, that sort of era. Yeah, that's it's getting to be a longer time ago than it was earlier in my lifetime. Just under $100 for this USA made knife right here. You've got a 5-inch true sharp stainless steel blade, clip point and narrow. It's, today, we have a sort of proclivity to go, like, in many cases, big, overbuilt, all that sort of thing. Maybe the thing that our friend was picking up on is I do make the point where oftentimes smaller is better. There's nothing wrong with having a big knife. There's no reason to be ashamed of liking or enjoying using big knives, but they're not always the most practical for the way that the majority of folks probably use their knives. Did I couch that with enough qualifiers to like...
I'll check with the lawyers.
And this is kind of old school dependability. It is got enough length and just enough height to do what needs to be done for field skinning, butchering, quartering, that's maybe not quartering, but that sort of thing, field dressing. And it's not so big that it gets in its own way. It is agile, it's nimble. You've got enough handle there, even for me to grip onto. A lot of the old school knives like this, especially the marbles ones, often had shorter handles that were a little harder to grip if you have larger hands like my own. Not the case with this case. Nailed the joke. And it comes with a leather sheath as well, with a fold-over loop with a snap for extra retention right there. Standard belt loop on the back. There you go. I hope that helps. There's a few knives in this series. There's smaller capers and that sort of thing, if you'd like to check those out as well. Next question comes from Mark Cameroon. And this was in response to a video where I was flicking open a Chris Reeve knife. There's just no way a CR Knave can be deployed that fast. No way. Knave is a great word that we should bring back. Here's a fresh Chris Reeve, just out of the box a few minutes ago. Yes, they can be flicked. Are they more deliberate if you're doing a slow roll than a ball bearing based pivot type of knife? Yes, but you can still flick it. Is it as crisp? No, but it can still be done.
I don't know if it's me, but some of the newer ones flick a little better out the box than some of the older ones.
That's certainly possible. All the ones I have quick access to here, we've got some exclusives over there, are all 31, so they're all like the latest generation.
But I remember like 21s being tough.
But my 21 is quite flicky that I have. That's similar in makeup to this Insingo blade version right here.
But was it like that when you first got it?
Well, I traded into it, so I didn't buy that one new. I did a nice trade and got into that one.
It's a corrupted sample.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, now we come to our most final question of the day, which is, of course, our most seriousest question of the day. And it has to deal with one of the USA's flagship cities, which comes from Need to Keep Walking. I recently learned that Crocodile Dundee's son, Hatchling Dundee, is taking his first trip to New York. Like his father, he will need a knife. What would you recommend for this hatchling to carry? Well, of course, we all know the famous scene in Crocodile Dundee where he says, "That's not a knife." He pulls out something that looks very suspiciously like this and says,
"That's a knife."
This is a little too much. And caveating this as I am not a lawyer, nor am I a legal expert, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this would run afoul of New York City's rather strict knife laws. one of which is a 4-inch blade length limit. The other of which is absolutely your knife must be completely concealed. You can't see a pocket clip even. People have been, pulled over and, pulled to the side and questioned because a simple knife pocket clip has been showing. So we need something small. We need something concealable. And how do they get around in New York City? If not by taxi cab, many people use the subway. The answer becomes obvious. It is the Spyderco subway buoy, of course. If you can't have the down under, the outback buoy, you have the subway buoy right here.
Downsize.
The downsize. This is the shrinkflation buoy. $116, LC200N steel, so it's virtually impervious to corrosion, which means you can have it close to your skin, tucked away, not printing, not showing, very easily. You could carry it around your neck and tuck it under your shirt if it won't print that way, or bury it deep in a pocket, and it's going to do the job really, really nicely. That's actually a serious answer.
Sorry.
Keep your questions coming, folks. Keep your most seriousest questions coming as well. We didn't get to 500,000 subscribers by having no serious questions. We need your most serious questions. If you want to get your hands on any of the items here featured, check out the links in the description. It'll take you to KnifeCenter.com. Don't forget about our Knife Rewards program, getting you free money on your future knives, as well as options like Sezzle at checkout if you want to break things into smaller payments. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. Happy 4th, everyone. See you next time. And here coming at you from the Welcome Center. Vending machines on your left, bathrooms to the right.